We just got really good news from CPI and markets are racing. I want to cover that. And I also want to talk about Binance because they are having a run on Binance right now, like a run on the bank right now with Bitcoin and with stablecoin, and they had to halt withdrawals. So I want to cover that. I'm not trying to spread FUD. People said yesterday, or a couple people said that I need to give both sides of the argument, which I'm going to do because I'm going to read what Binance says. But I still think that Binance is not safe enough to hold the majority of your crypto. No exchanges. I think you really should have cold storage. And then if you want to trade on top of that, that's great. You need some place to buy crypto. So I have been buying crypto on Binance, but you better know that I took off all my crypto. So just keep that in mind, right? After you buy, after you sell, withdraw the crypto. Now, we're going to cover that, though, see how safe this actually is. Is there actually a problem? Because, again, they just halted withdrawals a few hours ago. We're going to look at their explanation for why that is. So let's get into it here. If you don't mind hitting the subscribe button underneath the video, I'm trying to bring whatever's happening in the market. I don't care if it's positive or negative. I want to give it to you because then you can make your own decision and keep your crypto safe. So if you like that, hit the subscribe button. There's also a link to Marjax underneath the video in case you want a long or short crypto on leverage. It's only for experienced traders, but in case you want to do that, there is a link underneath the video. Now, let's take a look at what just happened. US CPI year over year, actual percentage was 7.1%, forecast was 7.3%, previous was 7.7%. So we came down 0.6%. We're almost under 7%. We also were below expectations on the core. We got 6.0% on the core versus 6.1% expected. Now you can see the markets are racing up on this. Of course, we're not going up to 20,000 or 25,000 on this news right away, but you can see last night or this morning actually, we saw a pretty nice jump from 17.2 where we'd been pretty much stuck up to 17.5. And then sideways for a while. Then we got a little bit of a pump before CPI. And then as CPI came out, we went all the way up to over $18,000. So a nice pump there. You can see the same thing in other risk assets like Tesla, right? This is like a video game or something, or like a meme almost, with it just going through the roof, going from 170 up to 180. Now, keep in mind, the fundamentals of these haven't changed. Of course, people weigh this in because they think that this changes what the Fed does. It lowers the risk of inflation, that kind of thing. And that's where we get these price adjustments. But the overall company of Tesla is not going to be too affected by this. Of course, maybe you could say that there's less of a need for this kind of push from the Fed, which causes less risk of a recession, and then the consumer is stronger and all this. But some companies and some cryptos aren't going to be affected long term from this, but you can still see big price fluctuations in the short term. I also want to hit on this. So JP Morgan Chase trading desk yesterday said that if we got a 7 to 7.2% read, we would see about a 4 to 5% push up in the S&P 500. They only give us a 15% probability, and we're smack dab in the middle of this. So it's more like a 10% probability or something when you consider it's 7 to 7.2. So they're expecting the market to go up 4 to 5% today. Hopefully we see a pretty good day. Hopefully you've been buying as well throughout all this craziness. Now, CZ just announced on USDC, we have seen an increase in withdrawals. However, the channel to swap PAX versus BUSD to USDC requires going through a bank in New York in USD. The banks are not open for another few hours. We expect the situation to be restored when the banks open. These are one-to-one conversions, no margin or leverage involved. We will also try to establish more fluid swap channels in the future. In the meantime, feel free to withdraw any other stablecoin, BUSD, USDT, etc. Now, some people are saying, don't worry about withdrawals. We won't withdraw. Some people are saying this is kind of sketchy because they had said several things similar to this when FTX was going down. Now, personally, I think that they're probably fine. I've said this the whole time, and I've been making Binance videos for the last few days. A couple days ago, I talked about how it's not safe enough because they did have an audit recently, but the fact is they didn't actually have a full audit. They had a partial audit that they set the terms and conditions of. So I said that looks a little bit weird. Any exchange should not hold the majority of your crypto, so probably should withdraw it. Now, yesterday it came out that they were getting looked at and investigated for money laundering. So I still said then that it had nothing to do with what I was saying the day before, but I would still take your crypto off. Now, they're having a little bit of a run on the bank, and I still say you should take your crypto off. You can see here as well, Binance Exchange daily BTC withdrawals top 500 million as CZ says FUD helps us grow. So they're having a bank run on not just Bitcoin, or not just stablecoin, but also Bitcoin. 500 million is a lot to be withdrawn in a day. So they seem like they are losing some confidence. Maybe it's because of this audit. They're trying to play white knight, but they're actually showing more maybe kinks in the armor than anything else by not actually giving a full audit out. And I realize that would take longer. I think, though, that they should say if they're going to have a full audit. This was something a few days ago that, that self-reported audit or that small audit, I forgot exactly how they phrased it. That's something that we're doing for the short term, so that way you can see how much Bitcoin we have, because a longer or a full audit would take longer, but we are still doing the full audit. I think that would give people a lot of comfort and a little bit more of a feeling of safety. But now, obviously, a lot of people withdrawing Bitcoin and crypto. I know that I have over the last couple of weeks. And in terms of USDC, I would not be surprised if they actually needed this bank in New York. However, you would think that they would have enough liquidity to not really make it an issue. I think it is a good sign that they have BUSD and USDT withdrawals open. But if you really wanted to, you could probably just swap on Binance, right? You could just swap from USDC to something else. It sounds like it's just the withdrawals, not necessarily a swap, but it's hard to tell based on what they're saying here. So maybe you can't even swap either. But let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Do you think Binance is fine? I know that they are the largest player, but in this kind of space and at this time, I would not leave the majority of my crypto on any centralized exchange. That's just me. I think that's too risky, and I didn't expect FTX to go down either, and yet they went down. So I think anything can happen. But let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Hopefully I covered both sides. This is CZ saying that everything's fine, basically. But, it's never a good sign when you're already under scrutiny and you're halting withdrawals. So, again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. I will see you in the next one.